Now, guys, the beauty of that is, let's say you would have traded with a 60 tick PVI. Market's quite jumpy. So with a 60 tick PVI, you said, Lachie, I'm going to go for 20 and then whatever I can get my hands on, or I'm going to go for 20 and a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So let's say you did that tonight. Guys, you've gone long and you've picked up a 20 tick target. Absolutely brilliant. Money's in the bank. That's your daily KPI. Guys, if you then bring your stop loss to -1, just for a mathematical exercise. So you've got money out of the market already. They can't take that away from you. You've got a 55 tick target and a 1 tick stop loss. As what is your risk to reward ratio on that long range target? So you've already got your first target out, boom, done. Your second target, got 55 ticks is your forecast profit. You got 1 tick at risk. Matt, you've absolutely nailed it, guys. You've got a 55 times risk to reward ratio in your favor. Now, there are people out there in the world, ladies and gents, that will tell you categorically you can't do that. It's mathematically impossible. However, we've just done it again. Now, the reason we do it, guys and girls, is we don't follow the philosophy of it's got to be a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, otherwise I can't take the trade. Now, I tell you what would have happened, guys, in other planets. You know, someone else on another planet, they would have seen a reversal setting up. They don't have our delta algorithm, so they couldn't have done that. They would have looked at this and said, look, I think the market's reversing, but because I have the S1 pivot in the way of my longer range target, I can't get a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Therefore, I'm not taking the trade. That's like putting a static solution on a dynamic market, guys and girls. It doesn't work. It literally doesn't work. Flip side, we took the trade with around about 25 ticks worth of rooms in the S1. We put our first target at 20 because that's what we love doing when the volatility is 60. We then say, I'm then going to go for a 1-to-1 on my final target, understanding I'll move my risk forward. I can't lose anything. And as it turns out, you ended up with a 55-to-1 risk to reward ratio in your favor. Now, you're probably looking at the chart going, oh, well, Lachie, you know, you just got lucky on that trade. Awesome. Okay, maybe we did just get lucky on that trade. Now, flip side being, again, another little lesson here, which is brilliant. All right, so market sold down, market buy block up. Okay, these guys sold down. Now we've got no higher high, no higher high, no higher high. So my little sell down goes all the way down there. Guys, so at the bottom of the jar there, who owns the stair step? Right, you're probably looking at that going, well, Lachie, you've got 3 selling legs on. The bigger one are the sellers, and therefore we're off and racing. Okay, literally off and racing. What we then do, guys, is we say, right, the sellers own the stair step. The moment the buyers touch that B point, or it's the moment the buyers touch that point, guess what that means? The buyers now own the stair step. So what have we got here? That's what have we got here? And what have we got there? Would everybody agree we've got a ratio-based static bar reversal to the downside? Absolutely correct. Which offers you, guys, which offers you the better ratio? The one that offers you the better ratio is the doji. The one that offers you the better strength is this one right here. So I wonder, guys and girls, I wonder once again, if we could do a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, but then skew it to be massively in our favor. Understanding that the S1 is below us just here. The S1 is below us. If I decided to take the static bar reversal short, we'll play the same game again. And some of you might go, oh, okay, I now know what my ATM is. That's the risk on the higher of the static bar reversals. If I push that down to the S1, guys, my target is just beyond the S1. Okay, so that's okay. That's okay because we've gone short. This time we might have a 20 tick target. Absolutely brilliant. So we're going for, let me just have a look. Okay, we're going for 10, 20, 35. So we're going for 20 and 35. So again, let's play a game. Let's play a game again. You've gone short and you're going for a 20 tick target. Click, bang, paid. You've then got a 35 tick long range target because you love 1-to-1. You then move your stop loss to -1 on your 35 tick target. Guys, what is your risk to reward ratio on this trade? 35-to-1 in your favor. But Lachie, you can't do that. It's not possible. Short circuit, you're offending me. I'm going to turn off the webinar. Of course, guys, we can't do it. It's just like when people said, Lachie will never fly a Black Hawk helicopter. Sure, Lachie will never join the army. Yeah, Lachie won't buy a skateboard. Guys, has anyone else ever met a bunch of naysayers. It doesn't matter how good you get. They basically say you can't do that. It's not possible. And then you run a webinar like this, guys. Now, I didn't even prepare. I didn't even prepare this webinar. This part of the chart, I prepared all the way over the other side of the jar. Dave, all my life, you've been hanging around the same people I have. So, guys, the naysayers will always be naysayers, and that's okay. That's okay. Let's move on. Now, I did get asked a question, guys. Guys, earlier on. Lockie. Guys, I did get asked a question. Guys, it was in the LTR today, and then I'll answer the question. What indicators do I put on my larger charts? Guys, and then we'll talk about this failed ABC. So, guys, I got asked the question before. All right, so these are the indicators I run on my larger charts. So the larger charts run as fast as possible. All right, so again, guys, now this is going to be put in the members area for you, so you'll be able to rock and roll. Guys, but I'm running efficiency. I'm running on this one here. I've got a floating bar timer. Okay, now I did have floating bar timers on the daily charts and the weekly charts, but again, don't do that. It's just a waste of chart space. So, guys, on this one here, I've got efficiency, the floating timer. I obviously want to know what instrument I'm trading. I need to know the climactic volume. That's going to become really obvious in a second. I run with volume excess, obviously trend and strength. All right, so that's all I've got. Now, please note, guys and girls, I've got no pivots. I've got no levels. I've got none of that intimate stuff because all of that's on my primary execution chart. If I can see the pivot is on my 5-minute chart, I don't need to see it on the 15, the 30, the 60, and the 4-hour and I just don't need to see it. All right. So again, the question was asked. Now, obviously, this recording is going to be in the members area. If I was to strip anything off, guys, I'd strip off the floating bar timer if it annoys you. But to me, I don't mind it. I think it's actually quite kind of brilliant. Now, of note, guys, I don't run the delta on any chart but the 5-minute chart. Okay, so let's go back to here. Now, guys, talking about the psychology of the market as we lead in, you can see here this climactic orange candle. Guys, in the background there is a completed ABC pattern. Okay, so I drew that on the chart for you guys as I got ready for tonight. Now, what's actually occurred, guys, as we led into the open, let me move that line off, is we had this beautiful stair step going on the 30-minute chart. Guys, an absolutely beautiful stair step. And I said to everyone as we came into the live trading room, guys, now you can do the same thing, guys, into the US pre-market, as into the US cash market. You can do the same thing into Singapore Open. You can do the same thing into the US close. Guys, but what you would be doing is you'd be drawing a stair step. So extreme high to extreme low to extreme high down to extreme low. You'd be basically saying the sellers are currently trying to complete an ABC pattern short, right? So this in the background here is a completed ABC pattern, guys, where the sellers have actually sold down below the breach point. Now, in this case here, guys, the sellers were trying to, exactly right, Ahmed. Guys, the sellers were trying to sell down on the 30-minute chart. It's really clear on the 30. They were also trying to sell down on the 15, guys. It's just not as clear. But pretty much does the same thing I was doing. So, Rob, your observation is huge. And guys, let me read it to you because those watching the recording, you need to hear this. I've noticed the market pretty much does the same thing almost every session. It fails off the evil twins or the 90%. I'll change the language there, mate. Fails off the evil twins or the 90% on the first candle of the session and then reverses. Why, Rob? Why does it do that? Mate, the reason it does that, guys, now Rob, obviously, some of you are aware, has come from a forex trading background. Rob, the reason that occurs is because a ton of professional traders around the world have said, wow, you know what? That trade is really reliable. I'm going to start pushing the button when that occurs. Now, Rob, the interesting point is the NASDAQ data that I'm looking at on my chart here is the same as your data. It's the same as every person around the world. What does it mean? What you're seeing, Rob, is very exciting because that is becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. Why is it a self-fulfilling prophecy? Because everybody sees the same thing at the same time because they are futures traders. Now, mate, and again, mate, I literally just today, I finished the Getting Started video pack. And in that video pack, it actually says, if there were 2,000 different NASDAQ brokers providing 2,000 different prices for the NASDAQ all at the same time, Guys, like there are 2,000 forex brokers providing 2,000 different prices for the Aussie dollar at the same time. Rob, let's say you're with one of the 2,000 forex brokers. How do you know you're getting the right price? You don't, because you're getting the price that's defined by the broker, not defined by the futures exchange. So, mate, in the game of forex, self-fulfilling prophecies don't work, because it's only a self-fulfilling prophecy on your chart, not everyone else around the world. But guys, a question for everybody, if you don't mind. Why did this pivot-based reversal here that we were talking about in the live trading room tonight, why did it go so well? Because everybody, so all the professional traders globally that have the right pivot file on, all saw the buyers failing at the previous pivot and said, you know what, if these guys can't go up, they're going to go down. What is that? A self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, guys, what I said at the start of the webinar, I didn't know you were going to answer that question, or ask that question, I should say. Guys, why is this important? Because the self-fulfilling prophecies, as you and I move into 2025, and more people globally dump forex for futures, what does that mean for the future of your self-fulfilling prophecies? Rob's just gone, Lachie, I see this kind of every day and I'm starting to make really good money out of it. Guys, what's going to happen? It'll get to the point where we have to front run the 76 fibs because there are so many people buying off them. But what does it mean, guys? We get paid faster. We carry less risk. The market becomes more predictable. The long range targets are more fun, and it just gets more and more fun. Who loses? No one. Anyway, getting back to my point, mate. Thank you for the question, guys. On the 30-minute chart here, can everybody see? You've got this high volume, this extreme volume candle, guys, as they tried to break through. Rob, you nailed it. We're not the ones that are crying about this. We are excited. Guys, this little candle here, you've got extreme volume on the 30-minute chart, has set up a -4 rated static bar reversal going back the other way. So not only did the sellers fail to close the ABC pattern short, this is very common, guys, on US Open and US Close. Not only did they fail to close the ABC short, but the moment they failed the short, the moment the candle closed on European Open, we're basically, guys, any long you can get your hands on, FDAX, S&P, NASDAQ, whatever it is, absolutely brilliant. Guys, why? Because this ABC pattern, you can see in the back corner here, guys, that ABC pattern, they failed to close below the breach point. Mind you, have a look at this candle here, guys, and have a look at what they've closed below. Would everybody agree they've now closed below the breach point? What's the market's response? To tumble. Interesting point. Guys, what's the market's response, which I get quite excited about? What's the market's response to a 3-rated efficient candle on the 30-minute chart? Guys, what has it done? It's gone down. It looks like it's gone down a long way. Let me just double check these horizontals. They're 100-tick horizontals, guys. So since this efficient candle, the market has dropped more than 200 ticks. More than 200 ticks to the downside, guys. And guess what your daily KPI is? 20. So brilliant. Must have closed below the breach point. Petros, that's a really great question, right? So when we're combining larger charts, the 30-minute chart trade doesn't confirm until the candle closes. So at this point in time, if we're going, oh my gosh, they're going short, if you were doing that, you would be saying, all right, Lachie, now I'll just move that out of the way for a moment. They're going short on the 30-minute NASDAQ chart. I need a valid 5-minute chart trade to complement the short. Now, my question being, okay, we got this huge climactic candle at that point in time. So, mate, it's a great... Oh, Terence, I'd go now. I'd go now because you'll be on the list for the transition, Terence. So that's a great question. Now, guys, interesting point. You've got this climactic volume. You've got this climactic volume here. Now, again, Petros asked the question. Petros, are you allowed to go short under a non-efficient CORPC bar? Can you see here, there is nothing up here saying please go short at all. Exactly right. So Petros, what you're doing when you're trading a smaller chart and a larger chart in combination, you're saying, all right, I think they're going short on the 30-minute chart. So now I've got to wait for a valid 5-minute chart trade before I go short. Okay, so beauty of it, we just didn't get one. So coming into the open, guys, I said to everybody in the live trading room, really, really quite important, guys, I said to everybody in the live trading room, if they create, let me just show you this, all right? Let me just blow this up for you. If they create a lower low on the opening candle, let me get rid of some detail here for you. All right, so you see here, they've sold down, they've bought back, and they've sold down. If they create a lower low on the opening candle, then you're allowed to trade that delta, which is outside the range of the static bar reversal. You can trade the static bar reversal, or if they sell down and then come back through again, you can pick up these 3 deltas here.